The screeching of twisted steel was a peculiar sort of beauty, such as country poetry, as 9 tons of my combine reduced a $120,000 Porsche Cayenne to gleaming, crushed salvage. I did not mean to ruin Vanessa Thornton's prized luxury vehicle that morning, but if you impede a farmer's barn during harvest time, you're going to get a rough lesson in country justice. She believed money made her invincible. She learned otherwise. 7 months of relentless harassment, sabotage, and targeted damage had pushed me to the brink. And this was where I finally drew the line. I'm Ethan Caldwell. After 12 years as a Navy SEAL, I came back to my family's 200-acre farm in Montana, carrying a body full of scars, some visible, like the jagged one from my temple to my cheek, others buried in the fog of war. The Caldwell farm, with roots in my family that went back 3 generations, was my sanctuary. When my dad died of cancer, his last words hung on my heart like barbed wire. Ethan, this land is our legacy. Don't let it go. Farm work wasn't a smooth transition after all. PTSD made routine farm visits, to the grocery store or the town physician, feel like combat missions. But the land's rhythm was unequivocal. Its seasons, earth, wind. I invested every dollar from my military retirement savings in making the farm profitable. New irrigation systems, equipment maintenance, and $180,000 bank loan. This wasn't just a business. It was my healing ground. I did take boundaries seriously. Dad taught agricultural law at the local junior college and drilled one mantra in me: knowledge is power. I placed legal no blocking and no trespassing signs all over the place and poured over Section 71-2-611 of Montana's Agricultural Code, emergency access during harvest, just in case. Then came Vanessa Thornton. She was the front for Silver Valley Development, the city's newest plan: high-end houses and a golf course to revitalize our beleaguered farm town. My neighbors jumped at the chance. The Harrisons, bankrupt from hospital expenses. The Thompsons, whose children had left years ago. Even Old Man Jenkins, who swore he'd die on his porch. Vanessa first showed up in a gleaming white Porsche, leaving a trail of dust behind her like an insult. She stepped out, high heels sinking into the spring mud, business suit crisp and out of place. "Mr. Caldwell," she called with a bright, toothy grin, "I've got a business opportunity for both of us." She proposed an offer 30% below market rate, cloaked in glossy language such as partnership and long-term growth. When I rejected her, the smile began to fracture. "This project's going through, with or without your property," she snapped, gaze held on my scar. "Military, yeah? PTSD? This life will consume you. Call me when you're willing to surrender." I held on to a fence post so hard my knuckles turned white. "Regulate your breath. Regulate your mind," I told myself. "This soil's drenched in Caldwell blood," I said to her. "You'll have to bury me first if you want it." She gave me a business card. No one refuses Vanessa Thornton without payback. And payback came quickly. A week later at 3 a.m., her crew arrived with heavy equipment, illegally digging onto my property. I'd installed military cameras and had them trespassing 10 feet onto my property for an aesthetic water feature. I put up additional signs: clear, reflective, legal. But the sabotage persisted. A mystery trench overran my seedling corn. I labored 36 hours nonstop digging a counter trench to salvage the crop. My hands were bleeding. My back was screaming. But I didn't quit. County records indicated she was boxing me in, purchasing every adjacent parcel to my property except mine, strangling my access. Suppliers no longer called. Fuel deliveries ceased. My parts dealer would no longer sell to me. She wasn't merely trying to destroy my land. She was depriving me of oxygen. I adjusted, traveled 80 miles for diesel, reconfigured my equipment for solo operation. SEAL training would get me through lean times, but that was different. This was legal war. Sheriff Tom Reynolds sympathized but was bound. "Her permits check out," he grumbled, gazing at the trench. Vanessa always arrived right behind, papers in hand, as calm as a cucumber. "Mr. Caldwell may be overreacting," she'd claim, always referring to my PTSD, seeding doubt. She trashed my mailbox, reported false noise disturbances, held up my seed shipments. Her team cut down a century-old grove of oaks my grandfather planted, saying they were infested with disease. Her bodyguard Victor, a one-time boxer as thick as a concrete wall, pushed me into the mud when I complained. The boss takes what she wants, he snarled. I could have knocked him out with 3 swift moves. But this was not a war of fists. It was a war of strategy. So I called my sister Laura. She came in from Chicago, looked at the trench, the flood destruction, the inch-by-inch squeeze. At a public forum, Vanessa depicted my farm as a polluted wasteland. We need to think about the psychic price of military service, she declared with feigned sympathy. I got to my feet and declared it was less difficult to negotiate with the Taliban than to negotiate with you, Miss Thornton. That quip elicited a couple of chuckles, but it made no difference. One evening I was cleaning Dad's shotgun, whispering to his picture. They battle with dollars, not shells. How do I prevail? Next, there was a message on the phone from an unknown number. Meet me at the grain silo in 30 minutes. Come alone. I have information. I walked with seal stealth. At the silo, I encountered Greg Larson, Vanessa's aide. Your dad was my ag teacher, he told me, helped keep me in school. This is how I pay back that debt. He gave me a USB drive. It contained the truth. Vanessa wasn't constructing homes. She was after a fortune hidden under my land, a deposit of rare earth minerals. Billions. Laura verified it. Her whole operation a scam. False development, true mining. Old man Wilson possessed boundary maps from 1897 that confirmed Vanessa's property actually rested 30 feet within mine. Jake Turner, an experienced journalist, assisted me in documenting everything. Photos of mining drills posing as landscaping. On one night, floodlights detonated as we trespassed onto her property. Security breach, someone yelled. I drove Laura and Jake in one direction and allowed Victor's men to pursue me in the other. They caught me and dragged me in front of Vanessa. She dropped a notice from the bank. I purchased your loan, she smiled. You have 14 days to make $180,000 payment, or I own you. Bruised, I hobbled home. We need a miracle, I said to Laura. A storm was brewing. I had 48 hours to reap a $350,000 wheat crop, my best shot at keeping the farm afloat. But Vanessa's contractors carved out a trench, blocking my sole access road. Emergency drainage, said her contractors. Sheriff Tom was again at their mercy. Laura poured through the law books. Section 71-2-611 may cover this, she said, but it has never been used. Then Vanessa delivered the coup de grace. She drove her Porsche right in front of my barn. You're done, Ethan, she sneered. Victor was standing next to her, smirking as always. Laura bent in close. I've got Victor on tape confessing sabotage. We can fight emergency access. I didn't hesitate. I revved up the ancient backup harvester, Dad's pride and joy, a diesel behemoth of steel. I approached Vanessa. Miss Thornton, I yelled, this is your third and last warning. You're in violation of Section 71-2-611 by obstructing harvest access. She giggled. My attorneys cost $2,000 an hour. You think your farmer regulations intimidate me? Laura questioned, recording. Are you refusing to move although you know you're hindering an ongoing, time-critical harvest? Vanessa snarled. I own this town, soldier boy. I let it shift into gear. I'm just a farmer trying to work his field. The harvester moved forward. Her face cracked. You wouldn't dare, she screamed. But I did. The harvester ripped into the Porsche. Metal screeched. Glass shattered. Victor's crew ran for cover. I didn't let up until all of the obstruction was cleared away. I climbed down, cool. Sheriff's on the way, I told him. Tom arrived, jaw hanging open. I described what I had done under Section 71-2-611. Laura played the tape. Greg brought the complete set of Vanessa's offenses. Next arrived FBI agent Karen Hall. We've been following Miss Thornton over 3 states: fraud, bribery, environmental offense. Neighbors rallied to assist me harvesting the field just in time. Top dollar was paid by the grain mill. The bank loan was funded. A judge validated my actions, citing emergency ag law. Vanessa was fined. She was arrested by the FBI. Her land was confiscated. I converted half the farm into the Caldwell Veterans Ag Center to instruct other vets how to heal through farming. From jail, Vanessa sent back the mangled Porsche. As a peace offering, I gave it to the Ag Museum. Let them install a plaque on it. Rural Justice, Section 71-2-611 in action.